Welcome to the Court Street Reconstruction Public Information Meeting number 4. My name is Ethan Yoder. I'm a civil engineer for the City of Iowa City and the project manager for the Court Street Reconstruction project. And with me, I have Michael Farrer, who is the design consultant for FOTH. And I'll pass it over to Michael to get started.
All right. So, the purpose of the meeting here is really just to provide an update here. Since we last met, the last public information meeting, we'll talk through really 3 items. The first one here is construction staging. Then we'll talk a little bit about what to expect during construction and ultimately wrap up with high-level construction schedule. This is a slide we've shown here in the past, really just to give a kind of a high-level overview of the project limits. So the project generally is reconstruction of Court Street between Muscatine Avenue and South First Avenue. It will consist of full roadway reconstruction. There'll be new sidewalk and pedestrian facilities out there, ADA upgrades. That'll be the surface restoration portion, and then underground will consist of storm sewer and sanitary sewer upgrades. There'll be new storm sewer along the entire length of the project, and then there'll just be some spot repairs for the sanitary sewer out there, mainly structures that will be replaced. And there'll also be brand new water main that gets installed along the entire length of the project here. New traffic signals as well at the intersection of Muscatine and Court, and also at South First and Court Street. This cross section here just is meant to give everyone an idea of where everything will be oriented out there. As you can see, the water main on the north side of the road will be between the back of curb and sidewalk. Sanitary sewer generally runs down the middle of the road, and the new storm sewer trunk line will be on the south side of the road. There will be some intakes on the north side and some storm sewer cross runs that will essentially connect those to the trunk line on the south side. Generally, the new trunk line, as I mentioned, will run along the south side of Court Street. And then the joint utility trench that's being installed out there, that will also be on the south side underneath the new sidewalk. This next cross section here really is showing the same information with the addition of the retaining walls. We've had some questions in the past as to kind of what those will look like out there. So as you can see, there will be retaining walls at certain locations on both the north and south sides of the road. Generally, those range in height from about a foot up to 3 feet. And here in a couple slides, we'll show just some locations of where those will actually be. So looking at the staging of the project, we'll start out here talking about the joint utility trench and how that will be staged. Generally, it will be broken into 4 different segments. The first piece will be between Muscatine Avenue and South First Avenue. They're on the south side of the road. Again, this will be starting up here in 2025. So that'll be the first piece there. Once that's completed, the contractor will continue east from South 7th Avenue, and they'll install the joint utility trench up to that 5th Avenue intersection. The next piece that will be completed is from 5th Avenue up to the Iowa City High School parking lot entrance there between 2nd and 3rd Avenue. And then the final section of joint utility trench will continue there from that the Iowa City High School entrance up through South First Avenue. And all of this work will be completed here in this first calendar year in 2025. So in conjunction with the joint utility trench, there will also be roadway reconstruction work that gets completed. The first section that will be worked on is from Muscatine Avenue to South 7th Avenue. And the Muscatine Avenue intersection there with Court Street, that will remain open at all times. While they're reconstructing half of it, it will be kind of only one lane. There'll be a temporary signal out there that will allow vehicles to navigate through that area, but it will be one lane, kind of that north to south direction. And as I mentioned, with the retaining walls, these dark black lines on the screen, as you can see here, between Fairview and College Court on the north side of the road, those are two locations where there will be retaining walls. Continuing to the east, there will be a couple more locations on the north side, and then you can see here on the south side there, between College and South 7th, there will be some retaining walls in those locations. Generally, as we move here through the project, you'll see with the dark black lines, that's where the retaining walls will be located. Once the contractor wraps up with this portion here, they will continue to move east, and they'll work on the short section there between South 7th and Wales, along with the section between Grant and Muscatine Avenue. That'll be working on the Grant Street intersection and then completing the other half of Muscatine Avenue. And that kind of concludes the construction here in 2025. And then moving to the second year of construction in 2026, the first section they'll start on will be basically picking up where they left off there at Wales, and they will continue east up to Court Street Place. As I mentioned here with the first year, those retaining walls, again, on the north side, you can see there, and it's depicted with those dark black lines. Once they wrap up with that portion, the second half of 2026, they will work on Court Street Place up through 2nd Avenue. And that will conclude the second calendar year in 2026 for construction. And then the third year, which is really just limited to the summer months of 2027, this third year of construction, they'll be completing the intersection there of South 1st Avenue and Court Street up to 2nd Avenue, and this will be a full roadway closure. We've done that to kind of expedite construction here, allow the contractor to get in there, get everything done, and then be able to have that completed while school is not in session during the summer months. So this map here will give you an idea generally of what some of the traffic pattern there with the buses and the pedestrian detour route, what this will look like here in the first stage. This will be posted out to the city's website, and as construction progresses, when there's updates to this, they will also be posted out there to the website. Generally, the buses will utilize Glendale, College, and 7th to navigate around that closure area, which is shown in red. And there will be so red area is a full closure, and then there's a partial closure there, which is shown in orange. As I mentioned, pedestrian detour, the main purpose of this here is to make sure that students are able to safely navigate through the construction site or around the construction site to get to Longfellow Elementary. There'll be pedestrian signage out there with arrows that will direct kids to utilize South 7th there, crossing Muscatine Avenue to get down to Center Avenue, and then ultimately get over to Longfellow Elementary. There will be a school crossing guard at the intersection of South 7th and Muscatine Avenue, just to make sure that kids are able to safely cross the roadway there. Moving on here, we'll talk a little bit about what to expect during construction. So here's kind of a list of frequently asked questions, what we hear a lot. Just wanted to talk through a few of these. Hopefully they'll answer some questions that many of you might have. So the first one here, where do I put my trash and recycling cans during construction? So trash and recycling can be placed at the end of your driveway, just like you do today. The contractor will have the responsibility to pick up those trash and recycling bins. They'll move them to a location for the refuse to be picked up, and then they will put them back at your house, in your driveway. Then you can take them back to your house. The next question here, where will I be able to pick up my mail? There will be temporary mailbox, kind of a cluster set of mailboxes that will be located at College Court. That will be for the first year of construction here in 2025. And then for subsequent years, 2026 and 2027, there will also be temporary mailbox locations. Those will be communicated prior to construction in those calendar years. Next question here, will any of my utilities be disrupted, such as water, electric, gas, sanitary? So there will be temporary short-term disruptions. Those will be communicated to each property owner. For example, when the contractor gets the new water main installed, they will they'll install the new water main, test it, and prior to them cutting your existing service over to the new main, they will coordinate with you just to make sure for that short duration when they have that downtime that will work for your schedule. Next question here, how do I access my sidewalk and driveway? So sidewalks and driveways will be closed when they're under construction. If there are special access requirements, definitely coordinate those with the city, with the contractor. We'll make sure that we get you in and out safely to your house. If that is something that you need, definitely let us know, and we will make sure that we accommodate that. Where can I park when my driveway is closed? So during the short times when driveways are closed, there will be parking available on side roads. And then you can park at the nearest side road to your house, and then you'll just have to walk to your home from there. Next question, where can I get project updates? The city of Iowa City will be a good resource. Their website will be a good resource to get project updates. As I mentioned, the maps will be posted out there. Just generally as construction progresses, there will be updates out there on the website. You can also contact Ethan Yoder, who, as he mentioned, he's the project manager. The construction inspector will also be out there on site daily. If you have any questions, feel free to flag him down and ask him. Their contact information will be shared here in a little bit later in this presentation. And then the final question here, will the contractor be working weekends? Generally, the contractor will work Monday through Friday. If there are days where they have weather delays or they're behind schedule, they might try to get caught up a little bit working on weekends. So that'll kind of be on an as needed basis. So we'll show a few images here just to give everyone an idea, if you're not familiar with construction, what you might expect out there. So construction, it is disruptive. As you can see from the picture here, this is when the roadway is completely removed. Contractor is installing storm sewer and other utilities. And so really it's kind of a mess out there at this point. Once they get all of the underground utilities installed, then they'll come through, clean things up, install the rock or the granular surfacing, and then after that they'll pave the final concrete surface. This image here just wanted to give everyone an idea of generally what the sidewalks will look like where there are retaining walls. So this is kind of the first phase of pouring that combined concrete sidewalk and retaining wall. As you can see, the flat surface there, the walkable sidewalk, then those vertical rebar sticking out of the concrete, that's where that vertical portion of the retaining wall will get poured. So this is really the first pour where they have the sidewalk, flat portions done. They'll come back, they'll pour the vertical portion, and then for Court Street, they're putting a limestone veneer on. So that will then happen, and then they'll have a concrete cap that will get installed on top of that. So this image here, just giving you an idea of what things will look like when the contractor's out there on a day when they're pouring concrete. You can see the mixer trucks out there, the granular surfacing, as I mentioned, that's what the concrete will get poured on. So that's kind of in between the contractor installing the granular surface and pouring concrete. That's what you'll be able to drive on temporarily to access your house. Will be that temporary granular surface there. This final image here, just giving a little more information here on the retaining walls. This is one that's installed here along Gilbert Street, and this has been in place for a little while, so you can kind of see what the finished product looks like. And then also the Rochester project out there just north of Court Street here. If you happen to be out there, you can take a look at those retaining walls. That'll give you a good idea of exactly what these will look like when they're completed. All right, as I mentioned here, who to contact. So Ethan Yoder, he's the project manager. His contact information there is on the screen, as well as Michael Schukert. He's the construction inspector. He will be on site pretty much every day. Their contact information is here on the screen. This meeting is recorded, so if you don't have a chance to jot this down, this will be available on the city's website. You can go out there and get their information. You'll be able to contact them if any questions come up. And the city's website is shown here at the bottom of the screen. That was also included in the mailer for this public information meeting that went out. So everyone here on the call should have that information. Finally, here we'll wrap up just talking through the high level of the construction schedule. So starting off here in 2025, the joint utility trench is really planned to start up here. Was planned to start up here this week, here on Thursday, with the upcoming weather that will likely get pushed a week. And then it will continue through the year up until approximately August 22nd. In conjunction with the joint utility trench, that roadway work will start up here as well. And that is planned to start here in February and continue through the year up to the end of November, roughly November 21st. And then that'll conclude everything for 2025. The second year of construction in 2026, the contractor, they'll just be doing roadway work at that point. The joint utility trench will be completely done, and they'll start up there in April 13th, and the plans to continue up to the end of November there to complete that section of roadway work. And then the final year of construction, as I mentioned, is a kind of a shorter year. It's really limited to the summer months. So that'll start up on June 9th after school is out for the summer, and it will continue to August 20th. Things will wrap up prior to school being back in session.